Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Sunday, May 19th, 2019. Here's a story I want to bring to your guys' attention here. Swiss voters approve stricter gun control laws to fit with EU rules. Now, I'm going to read a lot of this one here because I got to admit to you, for a guy who follows this kind of stuff, I didn't see this one truly coming. I should have, though, and I'll show you why I should have considered this. And once again, this is not in America, this is in Switzerland. And Switzerland is kind of a sister country to the United States when it comes to gun laws. They have very similar gun laws and similar gun culture to what we have in the United States. Okay, so it says Switzerland, one of the most heavily armed countries in Europe, voted to comply with stricter European Union gun laws in a referendum on Sunday. While Switzerland doesn't belong to the EU, it is part of the bloc Schengen area. Guys, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm going to call it Schengen, which is a zone that can be visited without visa or passport by citizens of 26 European nations. Following the terrorist gun attacks in Paris and Brussels in 2015 and 2016, respectively, the EU tightened gun rules known as the EU gun ban. The bloc encouraged Switzerland to comply with its laws. The projections from the GFS.Burn polling outfit saw that the measure passing in a binding referendum by a comfortable 67 to 33% margin. If Switzerland refused, oh, here we go, here's the caveat. If Switzerland refused, the country would have been excluded from the Schengen area. So basically, they would have lost out on tourism and travel through their country and the money that it brings in. So that's why they did it. It wasn't like Switzerland felt the need to be part of the EU gun ban, but they got politically and financially pressured to do so. Interesting. So the EU is being an aggressor nation with its quote-unquote power with a minor member. And by the way, I don't say minor member lightly because Switzerland has been resistant to the EU and most of its stuff for a long time. So I consider them a very strong nation in that regard. Okay, but what is Switzerland's current gun laws and how might they change from the referendum? Okay, so what are the current gun laws, which are very similar to the U.S.? Firearms legislation in Switzerland is comparatively liberal, uh, more similar to gun politics in the United States than any other European Union. The country allows the free purchase of semi-automatic rifles, but special permits are required for automatic weaponry, suppressors, and target lasers. Hollow point ammunition is also legal in Switzerland, but limited to hunting. To purchase guns, the buyer must obtain a weapon acquisition permit with a valid ID, residence address, and criminal record not older than 3 months. Swiss countries and foreigners with a C permit over the age of 18 who are not identified as a threat to themselves or others can request the permit. However, foreigners with the citizenship to Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Macedonia, Turkey, Sri Lanka, Algeria, and Albania are excluded from the right to possess weapons in Switzerland. Okay, so how many guns are in Switzerland? According to gunpolicy.org, Switzerland has the fourth highest per capita gun rate in the world, with 45.7 guns per 100 residents, or basically 45.7 guns per 100 residents. Estimates in the number of guns in circulation are subject to large uncertainty, ranging from 1.2 and 4.5 million. When Switzerland joined the Schengen information system in 2008, it was forced to introduce its first central registry for firearms. Okay, so there was pressure exerted on Switzerland from the EU to do gun registration. As we all know from history, gun registration makes it easier to confiscate firearms. That's what that's about. Therefore, firearm purchases before 2008 do not have to be registered and might not appear in any official statistics. Okay, gun deaths in Switzerland. Switzerland has one of the highest rates of gun ownership in the world, but little gun-related street crime. According to the United Nations, the gun homicide rate is very low, with 0.5 per 100,000 people compared to 5 deaths per 100,000 in the United States. Well, that's much, much lower than the U.S., but I don't think they have like all the strict gun laws that we have in certain cities are gun-free zones. For instance, Chicago, which has the highest gun rate or gun death crime in the entire United States out of any other city. But they have the strictest gun laws there. That's definitely related. We'll go into a little bit more on this in a second here. The vast majority of firearm deaths in Switzerland are caused by suicides. The suicide method of shooting oneself with a firearm accounted for 21.5% of suicides in Switzerland in the period of 2001 to 2012, with significant gender imbalance. 29.7 are male and 3% female. Okay. Basically, how does Swiss gun culture compare to the rest of Europe? Switzerland stands alone in Western Europe in its attitude towards gun ownership. Guns remain a strong part of the Swiss culture, as each person in Swiss citizenship aged 10 years or older can take part in federal ranges and will be able to shoot for free with the ordnance rifle. The referendum comes only days before the country's largest annual shooting competition, or field shooting competition, held between May 24th and 26th, which attracts an estimated 130,000 people. Okay, people of Switzerland, I am very sorry that you gave up some of your gun rights due to political and financial pressure to the EU. You guys have always been regarded as one of the safest countries to ever visit in Europe. Now, Europe is by far and large very safe to go visit. But Switzerland, has been considered one of the safest. I have seen pictures in the past, with literally kids, teenagers, riding their bikes down country roads in Switzerland with AR-15s, strapped to their backs. It's just the way things are out there. Open carry is allowed in Switzerland. I'm not sure about concealed carry, but I just want to say that I really think they made a mistake here with this particular thing. And I understand it was financial pressure in which they did this, but that's how they do it. They do it through financial means, financial pressure, political pressure, and it looks like a little of both was exerted on Switzerland. I'm very sorry that you guys had to vote that way. And maybe, hopefully, by the way, there's one other thing here too. I'm not 100% sure what they agreed to on the EU gun ban, because I don't think they took the whole thing. Because most of Europe is very difficult for you to own firearms. The majority of Europe, very difficult to own firearms. And then also, too, as this story pointed out, the vast majority of firearm-related deaths in Switzerland are caused by suicides. But they called it the gun homicide rate, so that's not suicide, 0.5 per 100,000 people. Very, very low. The United States, is higher than that, significantly higher than that, actually. But that's, of course, because we do have gun-free zones in which people do commit homicides in. For instance, Chicago, where only criminals have guns. Criminals and police have guns, and that's it in Chicago. Now, that's not the actual rule. There are people who own guns in Cook County or in Chicago, but it's exceedingly expensive to do so. So, but at any rate, I thought that I would go ahead and bring this story to your attention, and I'll link it down below. And I think this is unfortunate that Switzerland literally got put in this position. And we'll see how they deal with this and how they can go forward, basically with, such a safe culture with guns. Where they're taught from kids how to operate a gun, how to clean a gun. The value system, basically you don't, the gun-related deaths here tells me that that the gun culture there works. And it would work here in the United States too if we were freer with our firearm laws in certain places. And in Missouri, where we have constitutional carry, concealed carry, our violent crime has gone down dramatically, but we don't hear that in the media because the media was, and by the way, I'm talking about the state of Missouri now versus, Switzerland. We have a law here in Missouri that allows for concealed carry without a permit. And that went through about 2.5 years ago. And before we voted on it, and the people voted on it, and of course they overwhelmingly decided, yes, that was the way to go. The media kept telling us over and over again that's going to be like, the Wild West out here in Missouri, and people just be shooting each other over everything, over a neighbor dispute, over a bar brawl, or, just that the gun crime would probably go up. And the exact opposite happened. The exact opposite. But we all knew this because we've seen this happen in other places before. Houston comes to mind, Houston, Texas. So basically, when you have looser gun laws, you have actually much less crime. It's just a fact. And it doesn't matter where you go in the world. Now, England has very strict gun laws, but people just kill each other with knives over there. So, I mean, you're not affecting the human heart. You're not affecting the condition. You know, if you have gun culture and you teach kids about guns at a very young age, I mean, they respect them and they understand how powerful they are and what they can do with them. And then look how safe that society is in Switzerland. I will continue looking into this, gang, and see if I can figure out exactly what's changing over there in Switzerland. But I thought I'd bring this to your attention. All right, gang. Once again, let me say thank you very much to all of you. To all of you who listen to TMF and actually take a few minutes out of your day to hear what we have to say on important issues. We appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate you liking the videos, commenting on the videos, you know, the new subscribers, you know, thank you. People who are sharing our videos, we do appreciate it very much. We just want to let you know that. We need to let you know from time to time. We absolutely love you, and we wouldn't be here providing this value-added service to news stories if you weren't here. So thank you for giving us purpose with this YouTube channel. Even though we're being attacked constantly, like I said, I'm not going to make any more videos about it, but our view counts are being affected every single day now, and it's on every kind of video now. But I know you guys are still watching. In some videos, we have more comments from different people than we have views. So that's how bad YouTube is attacking us. But thank you to each and every one of you. We do appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you all.